Again, now listen.
What's
to
going
me.
on, everybody? Can you
what
hear
it
us
might
okay?
need is, I don't know if we have any dielectric grease on
We're
there.
live.
It might be just corroded. So we need to check all those connections down there.
So
Good evening, everybody. We're trying to get this thing up and running, huh?
We're getting behind the scenes look here.
All right. Can you see me? All right, cool. All right, so anyhow, we're having a few technical difficulties with the dyno, which is typical of this thing. I don't know why anybody likes these chassis dynos. They're nothing but a pain in the butt. But anyways, we're gonna get it hopefully running here so we can do some dyno pulls for you guys. For some reason it's not reading, and we're not getting a communication between the dyno and the computer. So we'll get it figured out hopefully, and we can do a couple pulls on this thing, see what it's gonna do. In the meantime, while these guys are playing around with this thing, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna share with you that Philip III, true to his word, sent me another check and he doubled the last one. So, thank you, Philip. I'm going to go put this down so I don't lose it. But hopefully, we can get this thing up and running. Get out there, son, and start talking to him. Point out the parts on the carburetor, or on the engine and stuff.
Small one before wires.
Switch to the second camera. Switch. All right. So, the camera girl, we have my wife manning the camera and the chat tonight, so make sure you guys rough her up a little bit.
That's got to, does that mean it's not working?
No, it's working.
Okay.
It's PC camera, meaning that it's hooked up to the PC.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, we got my uncle's Catalina.
1962 Catalina.
The door.
And we bought this from a good customer of ours, Joe Camp, and Joe's owned this for quite a while, and I told Joe if he ever wanted to sell this car, I'm interested in purchasing it. So he ended up selling it to me, and I ran it for a couple of years, but my brother was looking for a hot rod, so, and I was, at the time, I was looking hard at I think it was a 62 Corvette gasser. And unfortunately, by the time all this went down, I lost the deal on the gasser. I should have put a deposit on it or whatever. But anyhow, now my brother owns this car, which I'm thankful he bought it and somebody outside the family didn't. Because I kind of consider Joe Camp family. He's been a customer of mine for probably 35 plus years. So anyhow, we're going to fire this thing back up real quick and see if we can get a signal here. Sorry about this, guys. It'll show you right away. He don't need to give a gas. Then tell him, is it the program itself? So maybe you're not hitting a button here.
I'm going to try it. It wants heat freezing up.
Okay. Remember, I was thinking we might have to do an update on that software. So, anyways, guys, I don't know which camera I'm on here, but
On that one.
Okay. So, yeah, we're trying to figure. We don't use this dyno very often, and we're just too busy. We don't have time, and I'm not into tuning late model cars. We don't do that here. We do the old stuff, the carburetors, and if we're going to do an EFI, it's going to be with an Edelbrock or a Fast or something like that. But we don't do, you know, the newer stuff. We don't. I don't have time for that. We're too busy building cars and building engines and porting cylinder heads. So, anyways, because of that, I don't get to play with this dyno enough to really know the ins and outs of it. And so when we have a problem like this, I'm not sure if it's because the software needs updated or if it's because we got a bad connection at a cable. You know, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know where my camera girl went, but maybe one of you guys can in the comments tell us what, if you've experienced anything like this and what we need to do to fix it. So it's frustrating for me. I got a lot of money tied up in this stinking thing. I mean, there's 80 grand sitting here, and it doesn't do me any good if it doesn't work. So hopefully we can get this figured out. I got Brandon Devies. He's my tech guy tonight.
I'm not a tech guy either.
I know he's not a tech guy.
Pretend though.
Anyway, I was calling Walt Bainey. I don't know where he's at tonight. I told him to bring the kids over and have some fun with us tonight. But I don't think he's seen the comment. Maybe he's got a basketball game. He's heavily involved with basketball. But anyways, well, this ain't basketball season, is it?
Baseball.
Yeah, it might be baseball. But
This right here is
Huh?
Facebook.
Okay.
yeah, right.
And then
So
YouTube-
anyhow,
YouTube will
I need
pop
my
up on
Walter
here
here
as
so he can figure this thing out for me. He's my IT guy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's not here tonight. So anyhow,
comment on
grab the
this,
camera, son. We'll show the people what we got going on here with the engine.
That way we know what they say on Facebook. What'd you want?
Grab your camera and let's show them the engine and what's on this thing, so I can explain to them what we're dynoing. So, and for you guys that have never met my brother, this is my brother Paul.
Hi.
So, and his son Luke, he's hiding because he's afraid the car's going to come off the dyno.
Actually, he was underneath playing with wires.
Right. Yeah. So anyhow, this is his son Luke. Get over here, Luke.
He built the engine.
Right. So Luke and my brother Paul, they built the engine. I ported the heads for it, and of course I blew through and hit water. My brother Paul MF'd me for, I don't know, probably a year. Yeah. It is what it is. But anyways, we're going to go over here to the car. We're going to show you what's on the engine and tell you about the engine a little bit while we're trying to figure this technical difficulty
Camera
out.
2, Jamie.
Can you tell them the story behind fixing the water leak? Or like the last water leak?
We probably have time for that tonight. Yeah, right. So, anyways. Oh, you want to try it again? All right, let's give her hell.
I'm getting some reading here now, where I wasn't before.
And you just need to let it idle, Paul. It'll show up right away. As long as the wheels are turning.
There we go.
We're working? All right. Yeah. All right, don't stand in front of the car. Holy moly, look at that horsepower rating. 22,000 horsepower. I think we got something wrong. Holy shit, that's awesome. 22,000.
29,000.
20
Top fuel engine.
29,000 horsepower, 22,000 foot-pounds of torque, wasn't it?
Yeah, 29,000 torque, 22,000 horsepower.
Oh, okay, 29,000 foot-pounds of torque and 22,000 horsepower. That's a freaking Pontiac engine for you, buddy. That's at the tire.
It's a top fuel engine.
Holy shit. So anyhow, let's go back over here and look at the engine while they're figuring this out. Apparently we got something screwed up in the software somewhere. But you know what? At least we're getting a reading now.
Small cam, Jamie.
So anyhow, my brother, this is a 428. I think it's a 69 428. It's got the factory crank in it, so it's stock stroke, 4-inch stroke. The engine's been punched 30 over, so it's a 434 cubic inch engine now. And it's got number 48 ram air 3-cylinder heads on it. But we opened up the combustion chambers on them and made this thing around 10 to 1, excuse me, 10 to 1 compression so we can run it on pump gas. It has a solid flat tappet cam, not a roller cam, it's a flat tappet cam. I believe it's a Comp Cams cam, and I don't know where my brother wandered off to, he knows the specs on it, but I think this thing's like 264 on the intake and 276 on the exhaust, and has like a 108 or 106. What's the cam specs on this? And is,
I don't know what the actual specs are. Right around 600 inch lift.
So it's right around 600 inches of lift. We got Harlan Sharp, is it a 165 ratio? 165 ratio rocker on it. It's got a Edelbrock Victor intake manifold on it for a Dominator. And so he's got a 1050 Dominator on this thing. And the compression, I don't know if I mentioned or not, is 10-to-1. So with that big a camshaft, it bleeds off enough cylinder pressure, you can run pump gas in it. And it's, right now, we don't know where the time, this is a fresh combo. He's only had it to the racetrack a couple times. He's still learning the car. We don't know anything about nothing. So tonight, we're gonna learn a lot if we can get this thing working right. We can find out what the max RPM is for the engine and where the torque peak starts so that he knows where to launch this car at and where to shift it at the track. Which he's going next weekend to Norwalk for Summit's Test and Tune, annual Test and Tune Day. He works at Summit Racing, my brother does, him and his wife, Dina. And they, so the track, or the Summit Motorsports Park, obviously is sponsored by Summit Racing, so what they do is they have an employee day there, and they allow anybody to take the car up there and enjoy the day. So my brother Paul's going to take it up there and have fun with it. So hopefully we learn a little bit tonight, get this thing dialed in, and he doesn't have to worry about the tune, and he can go out and flog it and see what it'll do. So anyhow, tonight, I don't know where I'm at, which camera I'm on. This one here. So tonight, what we're going to do, if we get this damn dyno working right, what we're going to do is we're going to give away a decal. My son doesn't know this yet, but or my daughter-in-law. So we're going to give you away a big decal, like this big.
So 5 inches.
Yeah. No. So anyhow, people at the campground always talking about big ones. So I told him, I said, you know what? I got 6 inches.
Emphasize.
So anyhow, you're going to get a 6-inch decal. But we're going to give you a big one. But anyhow, so we're going to take some horsepower guesses at the tire. Now remember, this is at the tire. This is not at the flywheel. So your horsepower rating or reading is going to be lower than at the dyno. So don't get carried away and tell us it's going to make 600 horsepower, because it isn't going to do that. But we'll see how realistic you guys are and what kind of numbers you think this thing will put down. I told you the combo. It's basically a 428 with a flat tappet solid lifter cam, 10-to-1 compression, 1050 Dominator. That's about all you need to know. It's got a 410 gear in the back, but that really doesn't affect the chassis dyno numbers too much. Turbo 400 transmission. It does have a, what's the stall, 4500? 4200 stall in it. So we're not going to be able to probably pull this thing below 4,200 RPM because it, obviously the converter's slipping and we won't get an accurate reading, but that's okay. We'll see what it does at like 4,500 and up. It does have the Pontiac big rear end in this, the 9.3 gear ring and pinion big Pontiac rear axle in this car. So I don't know how much horsepower the rear gear or the rear end eats up and how much a Turbo 400 eats up, but that'll give you guys some clues. But start giving us some guesses. Let us know what you think it's going to make tonight. And I'm hoping that maybe Brandon figured out why we're getting like quadruple digits.
Oh, yeah. We know how to build it.
We can try running it again, see what happens.
We can try it again.
Mention exhaust size.
Exhaust side.
Size.
Oh, the header tube? Yeah, this is, yeah, it's only got an 1 5/8" tube header on this thing. And it does have, is it 3-inch exhaust? Yeah, 3-inch exhaust on it with turbo muffler. So it does have a full exhaust on it too. Get the guesses in? We probably shouldn't have showed them that. Well, you know what? Did they see the screen? I don't want them to see the horsepower screen. We don't want to show them the horsepower screen yet.
I know.
Okay.
I took it away.
All right.
He's got control of that one right now.
Okay, cool.
This one, turn it down, because I don't see that.
Well, that one's not on
No,
yet.
that one's not on,
Well, I
yeah.
know, but you don't want to hit
I
that
have to
screen or turn that
manually
screen
switch
off.
it.
Okay. Yeah, so it looks like we got this thing reading correctly now, which is good.
Yep.
So,
That wasn't a full run.
no, that was not a full run, and it sounded like it was still pulling when you got out of it.
The RPM.
Yeah.
So I might have let a little slip
So we
go
get guesses
through.
now?
So you guys
All
have
right.
a hint now, but
Cool.
So you got 565 or 395, 490, 348, 425.
All right, well, you know what, dear? I need you to get a paper and write these guys down.
He mentioned he loves you.
No, it's lucky us.
No, that's what I'm mad at you.
You sure this is a 410 gear?
Yep. Why?
It's reading up to 4,700 RPM. You told me 6.
Yeah. Well, what tire size did you put in it? Yeah, it does. It has to, or it can't read accurately. Well, let's put a tire size in because these are 28-inch tall tire, and that will affect
Perfect.
it.
it didn't sound like it.
What do you mean we'll give you that option? It has to give you that option.
Gear ratio, that's it.
Yeah. Well, then I thought there was a chart too that gave you tire size and all that stuff.
I would check those rear ratchet straps again. I know they're going to move a little bit, but just to make sure.
28 inches, not 0.89.
Yeah, it's only 28-inch tall tire. And,
So what do you guys think
I
so
got you.
far?
40% humidity. Yep. All right.
We're going to try to do more dyno lives. So hopefully the audio's coming through okay. Hopefully you guys get a good
Well,
picture.
it does matter. I mean, we need to know that. So where's the chart to set
Please
this
let
up
us
so we
know
can
that as
change
well,
that?
so that way I can improve on
'Cause
it.
we got to get that right.
I want to give you guys
Layout.
good
You wanna
clean
look under
shots and
layout.
good clean audio, so that way you guys can hear the motor.
Speedometer settings. Maybe it's under that. Click that and see what it says. Alright. So, yeah, this is where you're going to set this all up. So, we're test distance 1,000 foot, which that don't matter. Let's see, speed parameters, 40 to 70 mile an hour. Turn that up.
You
at
hear
any rate.
the medicine man giving out
And
vital information.
I'd say at least 120. And then, let's see, step duration doesn't matter. Speed tolerance, 10%, that's good. Run speedometer report, what's that do? I don't know nothing about this, you do. So this is a speedometer test.
I'm not used to me handling the camera. I'm used to reading everyone's comments.
Yeah, this is not my cup of tea. It's all over the place.
All right, so go back to layout. Let's see what our layout is. Yeah, see, this ain't right either. There's no way we're only running to 60 mile an hour.
Jamie, switch camera 1 for me, please.
Quarter mile. Quarter mile.
All right, thank you.
All right, well then just hit OK and get out of there. You hit apply. Okay, look like apply to me.
All right.
All right, guys, sorry about this. This is probably a little boring for you guys to watch this. Yeah, so anyhow, where'd my son go with the camera?
Oh, you're you're on this camera right now.
I'm on this camera right
Yeah,
now?
I'm trying to get this
All
one
right.
prepped for.
Apparently, I'm the only one who knows how to talk in front of the camera. So anyway, what we got to do is we're trying to figure out, we're off on our mile an hour a little bit on this thing, which affects the RPMs of our readout. And I don't think it's going to affect the horsepower reading, but I want to know what the RPMs are, because we got to figure that out so my brother, when he goes to the track, he knows what to shift this thing at. This last pass, I could tell by the pull, it was not maxed out. He needs to go about 300-400 RPM higher than what he ran it to. So we need to figure this out, and that's what this whole session's about tonight. And to give you guys a little entertainment and see what this thing can put down to rear tire. So, and we're a bunch of amateurs.
Do this really well.
Yeah, we know how to drink beer really good, but other than that, on build engines.
I know how to work hard and have fun.
All right, so it looks like my son's gonna do a camera fixture doohickey.
Just stand in front of the car and hold it.
Yeah, amen, brother. If them straps break loose, you better be able to jump.
I do have goat-like reflexes.
I hope you do. All right, so what'd you figure out, Brandon? Do I need to stand here and watch you?
I haven't figured out nothing.
All
Can't
right.
find the tire diameter anywhere in this thing.
Look at the setup. Where's the setup?
Settings.
So, let's see, engine, no, it's not going to be under engine. Test hardware, what's that tell you? That's just to turn the brake on, so get out of there. All right, so go back to the beginning for me. I want to see the beginning.
What, beer, sir? All right, let me see if I can get some, can we get a view of the Challenger? No, we don't care about the Challenger right now. We care about, gosh darn Pontiacs on the dyno, DJ.
Yeah, DJ.
Hey, start asking my son some questions. Ask him what size shoe he wears or something. I don't care. Ask him anything.
Drop down.
What kind of beer we drinking? Well, my uncle's got Coors Light, and my dad's got Coors Light, and I got Miller Lite.
So you guys know I'm leaving for a little mini vacation actually this morning because I'm going to be leaving about 2:30 in the morning. So I got once I get done here, I'm going to have to scramble, get my butt home, and get in bed, which is going to be tough. I get up at 4:30 every day anyway, so it's not a big deal. But I'm probably gonna have to get out of bed at 2:30 now because we got to be at the airport like 2 hours before our flight takes off, which is at 6:30.
Y'all hear this? We gotta be in our shoes. We gotta listen to this shit 24/7.
Love you, brother.
Love ya.
This is my family. You know what? Thank God I got family.
I think I got all the numbers. Oh, good Lord, I don't know.
So, what are our guesses so far? Let's go through the guesses and see where everybody's at.
So we got Tim with 391, B&R at 389, Malcolm at 455.
Ooh, nice
Poncho
number.
Goat is at 425. John Dornbush is 425. Michael is at 348. Oh, Michael Gordon.
Yeah.
And then Michael Mithen is at 490. Dave Laubert's 420. Brian Wiggers at 398. Mom says 469. Dwayne Myers says 430. DJ says 423.27. And Mike Polson says 420. Jeff Downey says 477. And Bill Rosenberger.
You think, Bill, I'm sorry. You know what? I bring him up, but I can't educate
Good
him.
Lord. Rosenberger. Why? Rosenberger.
Yeah. How many times has he got to tell you that?
He says 525. And I will get that right by the end of this year.
Oh, holy moly. So, anyhow, does my shirt, what's it say on the bag?
100%.
Oh, okay. I don't have the whisper in my ear, something sexy. Okay.
What software are you using for the chassis dyno? They are using Quantum, isn't it Quantum something?
Yeah, it's from. What the heck's the name? My dyno.
It's just Quantum. I thought there was numbers after.
Dynacom. It's from Dynacom. It's called Quantum.
And this is a Dynacom dyno.
Yes. And it's supposed to be the latest version of software. So. Okay. So you
this
guys ready to
dyno
try
is
it
rated
again?
Up to, I think my dad said
Okie dokie.
1,500 horsepower. Right, Dad? 1,500 horse? This
What?
dyno's rated up to?
Actually, I think it's 15,000 foot-pounds
Oh,
of torque.
15,000 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah. So this thing has had diesels on it. This has street outlaw cars on it, actually. I bought it from a guy over in Oklahoma.
Okay, that's older there.
Oh, Philip the third put a guess in?
Yep. 630. My bad.
All right, let's hope we got this thing straightened out and we get some accurate numbers. Huh? Froze up again? So why is it freezing up?
Set too long for froze up again.
So we have to reboot it? Did we lose all our settings? All right.
The wonderful world of technology, you know?
Yeah, you know what? If any of you guys know anybody that knows how this Dynacom software works, I would really appreciate it if you give me a call and help us with this. Because we deal with this all the time with this software. It's always a pain.
I'm trying to get these guys in order being our racing. You know, it's.
Oh, there's Walt.
Oh, Walt guessed? But you know how it goes with these guys. They can build motors, but they can't do it computers. So Philip the Third says 687 mules, and Walt says 468.
You know what, Philip? Last time I had a hard time converting that.
Michael Gordon, I agree with you. Let the youngins figure this out. I need to start playing around with the dyno more for the old man, so that way we can get
might
this
be
figured
all
out.
it makes.
I would love to play with this thing. I'd be putting everything on it.
So what? It ain't slow. That sounded good, yeah?
Yes, it is Don magnetic personality causing malfunctions.
Man, that torque curve is flat.
So there might be an RFI AMI electromagnetic interference going on. It could be. I do have a camera wire going by where we have the computer and the sensors. So
Let's
that
let it
could
be off a
be
minute.
very good.
Lunch tray.
Is our temperature and everything?
Well,
No. So all
unfortunately,
this
I
stuff
can't
needs fixed.
move it. I mean,
Yep.
I only got so much cord.
I tell you what, I'm about ready to sell this dyno if anybody wants to buy it.
He said we might be getting some interference with RFI or EF.
We think that too. Yep. And we've tried separating the cables. We've done everything. We got microfarad blockers and all kinds of stuff on this thing.
I ain't gonna do it till we're done running, man, 'cause otherwise they might freeze up again.
Yeah.
Have you got it set on horses or mules?
Well, we got it set on mules right now because you said mules is more, but maybe we'll go to horses. That way we get more
Yep.
horses.
We got to do one more base, see where we're at. We'll let it cool off a little bit. Actually, you know what, Luke, do? Get that fan and hook it up and put the on the engine, please.
Yes, it will.
All right.
I I say I keep reminding myself not to say no numbers.
Yeah. Yep.
230.
Sorry,
Fantastic.
Yeah, so you guys know, am I on this camera?
Yep.
Okay, so you guys know, I'm going to tell you right now that anybody that guessed over 300, you're in the ballpark.
All right, that narrows it down.
Hey, everyone. Good cow.
So yeah, we're going to cool this thing down a little bit. It's getting a little warm.
I think it's 64. It felt like it was pulling today.
Oh, it sounded like it was pulling. It did not sound like it nosed over, that's for sure. So we'll try another pull here, and we'll maybe take it to 6,600.
Close the hood on the 62.
B&R said
Luke.
maybe even the MSD box could be causing some interference.
My car's gonna make 200.
Well, you know what? We don't have the RPM hooked up to the engine. We're just going off the rear tire right now. So if it's anywhere, it's going to be in our cables running to the computer hub. So, and we got the cables all separated. We learned you don't coil them, because if you do, that causes an inaccurate reading. There's a lot of things that we learned doing this. But thank you because we did have that problem at one time with another car. And it was because the MSD box was too close to the photo optic eye or something. I don't remember now, but anyhow, it did screw with the readings, and we had a heck of a time figuring that out. But you know what? I'll be honest with you. This software, I've never got it to work right, period, from the time we bought it. And I paid a lot of money for this software, and I'm really disappointed. But anyways, I do know that my dyno is accurate, because my buddy Jude Schnabel came over from New Jersey. He brought his chassis dyno over. He's got a portable one. And we ran Brandon's car on his, and then we ran it on mine, and we were within 7 horsepower. So I'd say we're pretty accurate. What's your engine temp on this thing, brother?
160.
Oh, good. So it's not even hot.
So again, this is our
right.
first dyno live. We're trying to work the bugs out, so we do apologize, and we appreciate you guys hanging around
As
with
soon as
us.
Brandon gets done doing what he's
And,
doing, we can do that.
Yeah, the fan that we have right now, I think if we close the hood, I don't think it's going to do us any good, because the fan
Make sure
sits
it's
taller
set
than
up
the
right
car
before he
is.
gets in the car and fires it up. I don't want no heat in it.
I think we're stuck with the hood being open with that for right now. But yes, we do appreciate it. And maybe B&R, if you could help out with us, so you have experience with Mustang dynos. That's all-wheel drive ones even. That's cool. So yeah, I mean, we appreciate the help. We'll take all the help we can get.
Yes, thank you, B&R, for helping out, because you know what? I need to bounce ideas off somebody, and if you've had experience with these things, please keep making comments. And
Well, B&R said he used to work at a race shop that had a Mustang all-wheel drive dyno.
right.
So
Well, you know what? I was going to buy a
and he said
Mustang.
his ex-boss was a dick because his name was Brandon.
Huh? What?
He said his ex-boss's name was Brandon. And he
No.
was a dick.
It must
I'm
run.
kidding.
It must run with the name. I don't know.
Yeah, he just said it takes just one MSD ignition wire wonky because the huge EMI RFI.
All right, we'll try this again. We're going to take a little higher RPM this time.
Let's see if we can see the fuel squirt inside the Dominator. Pontiac belt.
All right, so now I think what we're going to do is we've got a baseline. So I think what we should do is we're going to go ahead and shut this thing down. I'm going to have them put a new set of plugs in it. And let's see what it does with the new set of plugs. And then we'll do some timing adjustments on this. Unfortunately, I don't have an AFR on this right now, so any jetting we're going to do is going to be strictly off our plug reading. But we might do some jetting tonight too. I don't even know what time it is. What time where is it right
It's
now?
7:37.
7:37. You guys, this might run a little bit late tonight. If you guys got to leave, I understand, but we might end up getting into 8:30, 9 o'clock tonight.
How many cubes? 428 cubes.
434.
434. I'm sorry. 434 cubic inch.
What's that?
He's asking if that's accurate. He's pretty happy with this.
Control my emotions. Give me a second.
Oh, you like it?
I'm happy.
Good deal. Dude,
Go grab me a
this is a
beer, too,
beast.
please. Do you have resistor spark plugs on
Yes.
this? Yes?
It cools off enough for it to put some 19Ks in it.
Ooh, we're going to put some
So that's what,
NTKs in.
look at Duke. Let's change the plugs out on this thing. That's the next step.
So we're going to be switching to the
So-
Iridium
That
NGK
be
part number
25 more than we have.
XR4IX.
You just go over there and get the plugs.
It's a just a single. I don't know what the word I'm looking
Time for me to have a beer break. I got to get a beer. You need one, brother?
Let's see how far my dad gets before he realizes that he's still alive. That's why I like putting a mic on him. So, but right now I think there are auto lights in there now. I could be wrong though, but typically that's what my dad runs in his street cars. Yes, Troy, that's tune all night. I agree.
Where'd you open this thing up at?
4-inch stroke, so it will rev. Yes, it's actually already gone higher than my uncle's expected it to go. My dad's thinking 6,700. It might even go higher than that, they're thinking, so we'll see.
One thing I don't do is flat. Go down way too fast.
All right. All right, guys, I'm back. Oh,
Yes,
you know
being
what?
our,
I'll be right
so
back. I got to do
if
something
we
real
can wrap
quick.
the wires in aluminum foil, go get some aluminum foil, wife.
Seriously, you need smacked.
Philip III, I got nothing to do besides with the sound plugged into my guitar amp. It sounds great. Awesome. Good. I'm glad to hear it. I hope it rumbles. I hope your neighbors hear it. So right now they're taking spark plugs out. You would need this back, Uncle?
They will need that one.
So what do you got them gap to? 45. So they got gap to 45. And can you go read me the spark plug they're taking out, please? I think they're auto lights, but I could be wrong.
Yes, they are.
Yep, he runs those auto lights. He has for as long as I've ever known, anyway. Pancho, the car, I'll have to ask my uncle when he gets back over here, but what was the best time this car ran?
Whenever Joe Camp had it, his wife got the best ET of it, and I think she ran a 1220 with the car. So, and that was with a 400-inch engine and a 406 that I built for them, I don't know, probably 25 years ago. And it was a hydraulic flat tappet cam.
So what's the best Uncle Paul ran?
Well, so far the best he's runs is because he doesn't know anything about the combo. I think he's ran 1270s with it so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a funny story is this car.
All right,
when
let
my
me
dad
see
was
that spark
driving
plug
it,
whenever
the
you
first
get
year
it
he
out of
got
there,
it,
guys.
The brakes were hanging up on it, and so whenever he got to the end of the track, he
Boy, that sucker's
he
hot.
was
Ooh,
wondering
we're
why it
lean.
was running slower than what it should have been. And come to find out, he's just holding the brakes
Yeah,
all
boy.
the way down the track.
I mean, we're fat around the edge, but you don't look at that. You got to look down inside the
neighbors
plug
here?
there, and it's
We are
cleaning
both
itself
from
up. So
acres
good.
away.
Let's put some
Well,
new plugs
turn
in
that
this,
thing up, Philip.
and then we'll get a pass, and then we'll
Let's
see
hear
what they
it.
look
I
like.
want to hear it all the way in Ohio.
So, anyhow, which camera are we on?
This one right here, I can switch to the other one.
No,
if you
no,
want.
we're good.
All right.
So this is what our plugs look like. You can see it's black around the edge right here where the
Hold on
threads
a sec.
are. Can you see it?
It's manual focus, so
Oh,
hold on.
sorry guys.
Come closer.
All right.
There you go.
All right, so that's what the plug looks like, okay? So in a minute here, I'm gonna show you guys how you read your timing and see what your total timing is. So on the ground strap, on the spark plug, are we good?
Yep.
Okay.
Here, you want me to flip around so you can see?
Yeah, would you? Please, thank you. All right, so the ground strap will tell you if your ignition timing's too high or too low. So what you're ultimately wanting to do, excuse me, is you want to see, you'll see a heat mark on this ground strap. You want it to be approximately right there at the tip of my fingernail. That's where you want your heat mark to end at. If it's down here, then it's too much timing. If it's up here, it's too little timing. You need to add timing to it.
So when you're saying
you
heat
want it
mark,
right in the middle.
you talking blue or white or?
Well, this plug's a little hard to read, so hopefully once we get the new plugs in here, I'm going to have them pull a plug out after this next pass, and hopefully we can read that spark plug strap a little bit better. That's the goal. But right now, them plugs are black, and the reason they're black is because this thing's been idling a lot, and we're trying to figure this stupid dyno thing out. So unfortunately, this fouled the plugs a little bit. But my brother brought, these are Autolite 85s that are in it right now, which are a good plug for the street because they're a copper core, which cleans themselves off whenever you drive the car. As you can see, it's starting to clean itself up. I'm sure those things were black as coal whenever we first started these. And so anyhow, they're cleaning up right now, and that's what the Autolites are for, and that's why I use them on my customer cars, because I want them, I want the plug to clean itself up. I don't want them to have to pull it out and clean it all the time. Anyhow, we're putting an NGK plug in it, which is more of a race style plug, and it'll give us a good reading once we run it this next time. I think we're a little bit lean. It sure looks lean to me, so we'll be able to make a jet adjustment, maybe a timing adjustment, and we can get some more power out of this thing. Probably a little of both. We're going to find out.
Yep, Philip said you need more timing. He wants to see more mules out of this thing.
Double check everything, Luke, before we fire this up, please. Just to make sure all the plug wires are on and make sure nobody messed them up and got them in the wrong location.
It's a good question, Daryl. I will we'll run the car and I'll ask
Sounds
my
good.
dad to go over all that again because I kind of interrupted him.
All right, so now we're going to make another pull. It's got the new NGK plug in it. Apparently our software's freaking froze up again, so we got to reboot that. As soon as we reboot our software, then we can go ahead and get another pull.
What? I know. What's that? You want to go on camera?
Let's go.
My son and my brother's son are over here wrestling.
Give them entertainment while we're working.
Well, then wrestle in front of the camera.
So we're not running vacuum advance on this, right?
No,
Okay.
mechanical advance only.
Mechanical events with a real fast, real quick.
And this is an HEI, an old school HEI distributor in it too, which I actually like because the caps are bigger in diameter and it prevents crossfire. What?
It has a coil adapter. It's not just an HEI.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have the coil in the cap anymore. It's got the coil on the firewall.
Nope.
I believe it's on the firewall.
I know.
Yeah, so anyhow, the coil's on the firewall. Something else too, while we're talking about coils on the firewall. Don't lay your coil down. Make sure it's standing straight up and down because there's oil in the coil, and if you do not have it standing up straight up and down, it can burn out over time. So make sure your coil stands straight up and down.
Grandpa's car.
Well, they're going to be starting car in a
Well,
second.
we'll fix that.
At least I think they
Popped
are.
in my head. I'm like, huh.
So another thing you guys might have
All right, go
noticed
back
too
to
is
the
we
main
have a air cleaner base on this thing too, which straightens out the airflow into the carburetor. Maybe if we got time, we can pull this off and see what the difference is, if it makes a difference. It may not. It may. Who knows? Maybe it'll get better. I don't know.
We're going to go over the whole spark plug
reading again too, because I did interrupt you, but I wanted to make sure that everyone knew what color to look for.
Okay.
So, but people are asking questions about it. So
Okay.
we'll
Well,
go
what
over
we'll
it.
do is we will go, whenever we pull the plug this next time after this next run, I'll go over that a little bit more in depth for you guys so you can understand how to read a spark plug. And it'll tell you about your timing, and it's going to tell you about your jetting.
And if you don't change them, it'll tell you about your, your
Oh, yeah, you'll get a
laziness.
misfire, and then you'll know it's time to change plugs.
That's how we run it, right? A good color commentator.
What's that?
The third. Says what you need is me, a good color commentator.
That's right. You know, Phil, if you weren't so far away, buddy.
Right? BNR Racing says definitely electromagnetic radio interference.
What's that?
BNR Racing said it's definitely electromagnetic radio interference.
Yeah, it's something like that, and I agree. And I don't know if they have shielded cables or not, but I would love to
aluminum
find
foil?
out if they do so that I can purchase new cables for this thing. These are the cables that I got with
about,
with my
the spark
dyno
plug
when I
heat
purchased it. I bought this
connectors?
used out of a supercharger shop over in Oklahoma, and the guy after he went out of business and I bought this from him, he turned his phone and everything off, so I can't ask him any questions.
Do we have any shield anywhere for wires, like radio interference shield?
No,
Aluminum foil?
nothing here. No.
But this is a pool with the new spark plugs in it.
Still having technical difficulties?
They make plane tickets. Yes, they do, Philip. You are absolutely right.
So, yeah, so anyhow, this software, every time we leave it set idle for a minute, and I don't know what's causing that. Maybe we're just stupid. I don't know, and we don't know how to work this thing, but obviously there's something going on with it, and we don't know what to do with it. And so the only thing we know to do is we got to keep rebooting it every time we let it sit for, it's like it times out. So we let it sit for like, I don't know, a couple minutes, the thing times out and then it won't read. It's actually very frustrating whenever you're trying to do a dyno session, because obviously whenever you're changing jetting or carburetors or whatever, it takes time. You're not going to be able to just do it in seconds.
John Dorbush said it's your personality. You're too magnetic.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Well, thank you, John.
This is very conducive to beer drinking.
Oh yeah, we got lots of time to drink beer in between the sessions.
So they make plane tickets.
Yes.
Yes, they do. And you know what? At some points in the year, you can get up flown up here for like $79. I'll
He's
even
in
pay your
Florida,
flight.
right? Isn't he the one in
Yeah,
Florida?
he's in Florida. Yep.
Hell, he keeps doubling his checks. We'll just
Yeah.
pay it back and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we'll buy your plane tickets.
That won't work. All that is heat insulation. I don't think that's
That's
RF.
from the plug wire set that we have.
Yeah, but that ain't long enough. That ain't gonna
They
do
can
nothing.
protect right where the wires are next to each other
You
down
don't have
there.
any aluminum foil?
Huh?
You don't have any aluminum foil?
No, we do not.
BNR said, take aluminum foil sheet ripped off 2 to 3 sections, wrap your cables, like now.
We're ready? All right. You better hurry up. Hold my beer. And last time we heard that, that's not good. Huh?
A lot of times that don't move at all.
What is it?
Pumping a light smoke color out the exhaust.
Probably. Oh, the head might have popped.
That's smoke.
So anyhow, what we did was we had to fix the cylinder heads on these because I ported them a little bit too much, and their factory castings are old from 1969. So the it got close to the water jacket, and so anyhow, it looks like we might have sprung a leak. And if that's the case, we'll let this thing sit for a minute. We'll check it out and see if it goes away or not. If it does, then we'll run it again. But if it doesn't, then we're going to have to call it quits for tonight. And then whoever got closest to the dyno runs that we did, we'll get a decal.
And I'm still motherfucking ready to go.
It is what it is. He knows he's going to get a set of my heads when I get them done.
This is hot rowdy.
Yep. Unfortunately, this is the part
Like John
that
Todd
sucks.
would tell us, it's like walking on ice.
Yep.
You never know if you're going to fall through or not.
That's right. And unfortunately, it happens all the time. I'll tell you what, that thing was still pulling. I don't know where you shut it off.
65.
Yeah, it's still pulling.
Oh, no, I'm amazed. I used this Pioneer motor, shit going to 65.
See, that's why I ported the heads that much.
To make me come rubber.
Philip III said, "You should hear that on my Fender amp."
Yeah? I bet it sounds pretty cool.
He said, damn, you should hear that.
This is a D-port factory iron head going to 6,500 RPMs, guys, and I don't think it's done. I think it's going to go close to $7 grand.
Larry O says it sounds like 532.2 horsepower.
So we'll let it cool off here a minute, and we'll see if it's still smoking or not. We got to find out which bank it's smoking out of, too, so we can fix it. We'll have to pull the intake off of it and look. Luke might have to come in Friday and do some, or Saturday and do some work. Pull the heads off and fix them.
I gotta do my own car.
What do you got your car for?
Oh.
My windshield, my own car.
Hey, you just chill out. Your dad's car's more important. Luke's got his hot rod too, and he's wanting to get that thing all fired up. I don't know if he's going to take it to prom or not. He's got prom this Friday.
No, ain't going to prom.
No?
Trying to get to that point.
Oh, all right. Well, looks like you got this one to work on to get it to employee day too. So pull the intake off. We'll have to look inside and see which port it was or is. Maybe it's a different one now. So it might not be the same one.
We should just pull both heads off.
Revs that chassis down the road.
Well, we don't know where it's leaking at though. We can't do that.
Pontiac 428.
We don't know that.
Yes, it does. Oh boy.
What? Huh? Yeah, we're hydro locked. Yep, never mind. We're done for tonight. Okay. So you know what? Pull the spark plugs
Bad
out. Let's find out
news.
what cylinder it is. Take them all out. Yep.
Pull the plugs.
All right. So when you get a hydraulic lock like what we got going on here, so what we have to do is you pull all the spark plugs out of the engine. And the reason you pull them all out is because you don't want to break a rod or bend a rod or break the crankshaft. And then whatever cylinder has water in it, whenever you pull the plugs out, you crank it over, you're going to find out which one that is. And so that's what we're doing next. We're going to have to pull the plugs out.
That's a scientific way to find it.
Yeah. What you looking for?
When it shoots you in the eyeball.
All right, guys. So we're done dynoing tonight. Let's look at the dyno results here. And these are not maximum. This is just what we got tonight. I know it's going to make more power than what it is. So we will pull those up here in a minute, and we're going to find out who the winner is tonight. All right, come here, Brandon, unless you're helping pull plugs out. Okay. Not right now. We're gonna take and find out what the horsepower and torque rating was. I probably, you know what? So we don't have a tie. Maybe what all the guys that replied, maybe what we need to do is have everybody take a guess on the torque as well.
Ooh, that's hot. That's hot.
What do the plugs look like?
Clean, brand new.
Yeah. So we're lean. So this thing's probably capable of another, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 horsepower after we get it all tuned. I'm gonna take a look at this spark plug real quick and see what the ground strap looks like. Number 8?
Walt Beatty says, just like vacations of old Don, leaves and the rest of us pull the heads off due to the blow through.
I love you, brother.
Walt, come on over, we can have it on and off probably a dozen times.
All right, so guys, I'm gonna show you something here real quick. Brother, take a look at this. Don't have enough timing in the engine yet.
I don't see it.
You can't see that mark right there?
Oh, I do now, yeah.
All right. So I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this or not.
No. Let me focus in.
All right. So take a look at that spark plug. And if you notice, right there, I don't know if you can see that. Maybe I'm not doing this right. Right there,
It gets a little bit darker.
it gets a little darker at that spark plug strap, okay, which is the ground strap. So, anyways, you can see it. You can see it.
Yep.
So this thing needs a little bit more timing in it. And I know right now we have it set at 36 degrees. So that means it's probably going to want maybe, I don't know, judging by that strap, it's not too far off. I'm thinking it's going to want about 38 degrees, okay, which is 2 degrees more. And that can be as much as 20 horsepower, guys. That's a lot. All right. The other part I'm noticing, that spark plug, I don't know if you can see down inside of it or not. How you read a plug is you don't read it up here. You read it down inside there around the insulation at the base. And if that insulation doesn't have any color, which this spark plug does not, I don't know if you can see it or not, it is lean. So we need to add more jet to this. That could be another 20, 30 horsepower. So there's some more power to be had here. I'm guessing maybe 40 to 50 more horsepower on this deal.
Which is huge.
That's
just by
huge.
tuning.
Yep, just from tuning. Yep.
That's free horsepower, basically.
Well, it's going to be another. Well, you got me out of focus, but but that's going to be about another between 40 to 60 foot-pounds of torque too. Probably 60 foot-pounds of torque. So whatever we got tonight, we're going to not. So what we got tonight is what everybody guessed. That's who's going to win. But after tonight, when we get to dyno this thing again, we're looking at probably a 50 to 60 horsepower difference and about the same in torque. I can tell you that this thing's going to run pretty darn good. and we haven't even maxed the RPMs out on this thing yet. Right now, our maximum RPM, I think my brother just shut it off this time at 65 or 6,600, and it was still pulling. I could tell by listening to it, it is not done. So this thing's probably going to go close to 7,000 RPM whenever we get it all dialed in.
Just think what it'll do when it burns pure gas.
Right? Instead of antifreeze.
Instead of steam cleaning your spark plugs.
Yeah, because halfway through that pull, it started smoking, so it was burning antifreeze in number 8 cylinder. So we'll show you the numbers. It's pretty impressive, actually.
There they are.
All right. So where's my camera, son?
Right, pick it up right there.
Okay.
And then, yep, switch it.
All right. So.
Just point at the screen.
All right. We ready?
Yep. It just takes a second, but it'll switch.
It's like froze on Luke right now.
On Luke?
Yeah, when he was
What's going on here, man? I tell you what, our IT tonight sucks.
Thank God the camera was froze. You thought you were slick.
It's because the cable keeps getting bumped.
So we get it?
Not yet.
Hold on.
All right. So this is my IT group over here.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Are you live?
Yep.
All right. All right, guys. So what are our numbers again? Let's go through this one more time.
Oh, here, you want the list?
Yeah, because I want to add the suspense a little bit.
All right, so we got Tim dialed in at a 391.
Okay.
B&R Racing at 389.
Okay.
Malcolm at 455.
Okay.
Poncho Goats at 425. John Dornbush at 425.
Yeah.
Michael Gordon at 348. Michael Mithen at 490.
Okay.
Dave Laubert, 420. Brian Whitaker, 398. Mom says 469.
Dwayne Myers says 430. DJ says 423.27. Mike says 420. Jeff is at 477. Bill's at 525. Philip is at 687 mules.
Ooh, I wish.
Walt is at 468. Larry is at 532.2. And 2000 Blue Vet is at 535.
Did you read butt there?
Well, I thought that was blue, but I was.
Check out that license plate, guys. That's pretty cool. We got that from Joe Camp. All right, so are you guys ready for the reveal? Here we go. All right, here's the numbers we got. Can you see that, Jamie?
No,
Am I too close?
too small.
How about now?
It's a little better.
Keep going.
Yeah.
A little more.
Isn't that a different report layout?
There you go.
You good there?
All right.
See the horsepower?
All right, guys. It looks like we made a maximum of 406.9 horsepower tonight, and our torque was our max torque number was 498 actually on our first pull, but on the last pull it was 483.
Yep. So the closest person would be Brian Whitaker at 398.
398. So the closest one not going over.
The closest one not going over.
Okay. All right, Brian.
I'm just running through the numbers real quick again just to make sure, but
All right.
so we're at 406.9 horsepower, guys. So Brian Whitaker, you are the winner.
All right. Brian's going to get a decal. All right. We're getting a weather update. So, anyhow. All right, guys. Well, you know what? I am so sorry that we had complications and it took us a while to get things rolling.
Troy.
So, you know what? I'm going to have them switch the
Write
camera
down
back
Troy,
over
we'll
here in a
do that one
minute.
too.
Go ahead and switch the camera back for me, please.
Yeah, because he said 404. I must have missed him in the comments. So it's him and who was the other one?
Brian Whitaker.
Brian Whitaker?
Yep.
Okay, so those two will both get it then.
So Jamie missed one,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
and so Troy's guessed 404.
Oh, so Troy.
So, but we'll get Brian one as well.
Well, Brian and Troy get decals tonight. All right, so am I on the other camera?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that the same Troy about the liquor room?
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Troy.
Yes, Troy, thank you very much. You know what? My brother Paul appreciates you guys, having those lifters at the Pontiac race that year, because those are in his engine right now. So,
And the ones I could buy from work ain't worth a shit.
yeah, and those were old school. Those were NOS, so we knew they were good. That was an awesome buy for my brother. But yeah, we got a flat tappet cam. Troy provided the lifters. He also won a sticker or decal tonight, and so did Brian Whitaker. And so it looks like 406 horsepower to the tire, and we'll say 498 foot-pounds of torque. Now, what that equates to, guys, you know, we're talking about a 4,200-pound car. This thing's no lightweight.
Well, first off, before you go too far, let me interrupt you one quick second. B&R Racing said that is, where'd it go?
The suspense is more than I can bear.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
right? This almost is going to require another beer.
Brandon?
Oh, it is making well over 500 horsepower at the flywheel.
Yes, it is. It's well over 500. And it's going to be closer to 600 once we get this all dialed in. I know from doing this for as long as I have that my brother's engine's got probably another 50, 60 horsepower at the tire, which is going to be probably about 600 to 610 at the tire, which is pretty damn impressive. Or I mean at flywheel, I'm sorry, not the tire, flywheel. But if he does that with this big 4,200-pound behemoth, you know what? Hey, Brandon, do me a favor and grab the slide rule, please. So I think that this car right now, in its current tune, we don't want to run it this way because it's lean. Did you grab the slide rule?
He didn't
Please?
hear you.
Oh, he didn't hear me? Okay.
I was too busy being fierce.
He's our beer assistant tonight.
Night is. That's a good job.
Yeah, he got promoted.
They're cold even.
Anyway, so what we got going on here, fellas, is I do believe at 406 horsepower, it's going to run like a mid-11 second ET.
I believe you're right.
So let me take a look here and see what we
So I
got.
said, let Luke drive this beast.
Luke wants to drive the beast, don't worry.
He drove to school today.
Yes, he did.
He ain't driving to the prom on Friday.
All right. Well, I tell you what, BNR, you know, with the horsepower right now, brother, that's what you're capable of. See that?
Is that all?
Yeah. So, according to the Moroso speed calculator, which this thing is actually pretty darn accurate.
It's pretty darn old, too.
It is old. You know what? I got corners falling off this thing. The numbers are faded, but I can still read it.
I
So-
played with that thing when I was 5 years old.
But according to the Moroso speed calculator, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Anyway, at 4,200 pounds, this car's capable of 1130s, 1140s right now if everything's optimum. That doesn't mean it's going to run that. It just means it's capable of doing that. And that's at about 116, 17 miles per hour. So now let's dream a little bit. Let's just dream and see where if we if we build another 50, 60 horsepower, and I think that this thing is definitely capable of doing that. Now this is a dream number, okay? After we get done playing with the timing and the jetting and everything, do you like that number, brother?
I don't want to put a roll bar in it.
1090s at 122, 123 mile an hour. So that means that we're probably capable of somewhere around 620 or 30 horsepower at the rear or at the flywheel, which is going to be right around 540 at the rear tire. So anyhow, I hope this entertained you guys tonight, and
And it goes to show you, too, that, you know what, every time you go on the dyno, you always have something going wrong.
every time, every stinking time, and it
I'm
just
gonna leave it all strapped just like that. Take the heads off, fix it, put it back, and we'll do it again.
there you go, perfect. I like it. And so next Wednesday when I get back from vacation,
Oh, we ain't doing it that fast.
oh yeah, brother. Now how many times you pull the heads off that 75 Firebird?
Yeah, that was 20 years ago.
I know. You know what, Walter? Get your ass over here, get him fired up, and get a case of beer, and let's get this done. We got to get ready for next weekend, damn it. Well, next Wednesday, not next weekend, next Wednesday.
A week.
All right, let's try it.
All right, you know what? It brings back the old days. You know what? I got to tell you guys a story. So, anyhow, my brother and our buddy Walter.
Where are you going?
So, my brother had a 75 Firebird Formula, badass little hot rod, okay? Pretty much all stock body, all stock interior, 406 cubic inches. Actually, the guy that owns Boss Bird, he ended up buying the car from Michael Pincus, who bought it from Gary at Gary's Car Care, because our buddy Rodney, I don't remember Rodney's last name. Anyhow, our buddy Rodney passed away. He bought it from my brother. So it got passed through the stream here, and oh, what the heck's again? Not Mike, but the other guy that's with the Boss Bird team. I can't remember his name. But anyhow, he drove the car. He bought the car, and he actually sold the engine, but it's a 406 cubic inch engine with a flat tappet cam in it, with factory number 62 heads on it, and that car ran 1080s on pump gas. It was a beast. So anyhow, what happened was the reason my buddy Walt brought up the vacation thing is I go on vacation to Myrtle Beach. I give my brother a list of shit that's got to get done. I come back, he ain't got nothing done except for working on his god blessed car.
We had the heads on and off, I don't know how many times.
Yeah, they pulled the heads off and up because I ported those ones too. So that's why he MFs me, and I get it. But anyhow, I ported those heads and before I left. And unfortunately, I ported too much on those ones, and we had a hole in the intake port, and it kept filling the cylinders up with water. And they kept pulling off thinking it was a head gasket, thinking it was a head bolt, thinking it was anything but the head. And so they had them heads off and on like 10 times.
Because why would the headmaster fuck up?
Well, it happens. Because I'm maxing this stuff out. I want maximum horsepower. I'm looking for max horsepower.
I wasn't.
So anyhow, well, that wouldn't have run 1080s then. So, but anyway, so I get back from vacation. Now, they got the old man, too. They got the old man looking at, scratching his head. They've had this thing apart 300 times. They probably drank, I don't know, 24, 5, 6, 7, 8, 30 cases of beer. I don't know. It was a lot. In the 2 weeks I was gone for vacation. I get back and I said, did you check the port and see if it had a hole in it? They looked at each other. No, we didn't even think about that.
You were supposed to mess it up. You know what I got yelled at? I didn't do any work. You know what I actually got yelled at about? Is I bought a broom.
He spent money.
Right.
You know what? That was like a $40 broom. Back then, that was a lot of money.
I don't think it was that much. I got yelled at for buying a broom.
Back in those days, it was great,
my
though.
brother, I love him to death. You know what? We've been to the racetrack. Our buddy Walt's been to the racetrack. We've had a lot of fun over the years, guys.
We'll have to have Walt next week. We can tell
Yeah.
some stories.
Oh yeah. So next week, Walter, you got to get your butt over here, buddy, because we got to get this fixed for next week. I'm gonna be gone until Monday, and if this thing ain't fixed when I get back from vacation,
Oh, it's not going to be. I can assure you that right now.
I'm gonna be pissed off. So anyhow, hopefully this entertained you guys tonight. We had a good time. I don't know if you guys did or not. I don't know how many people showed up tonight. We didn't take account, I don't think, but so we had, I think we had a pretty good crowd. And we'll do this again next week. Hopefully my brother's got this thing fixed. Matter of fact, you guys got to start busting his chops and Walter's chops, and we got to get this car fixed. There ain't no ifs. It's got to be fixed. We got to get. He's got a race next weekend. He better have it ready to go.
Walt said easy peasy, old pros.
They ain't as good as they once was, but they're as good as
There
once
you
they
go,
ever
brother.
was.
There you
One
go.
more night from now, I know.
All right, so you guys got Saturday and Sunday. You can get this thing running.
Yep.
Got to get the head off, get it fixed up. We got the Belzone epoxy. You can get it fixed. So, all right, Brian Whitaker, and who else? Troy Wotring. Yes, Troy. Yep, Troy.
So
Good
next
job,
week
guys.
we're going to be running it again.
Yep.
All right.
We're gonna beat.
Two-part special.
We're going to put a hole in another.
We're gonna pour. Well, yeah, we'll find another week league. But we're gonna get this thing dialed in, and you know what? His son's gonna MF it the whole time. All he does is bitch about working on this thing, but he says he loves it. I don't get it. You know, I can't figure him out.
Apparently loves it. It keeps coming back.
Right. So anyhow, thank you guys for showing up tonight, and hopefully we get this thing ready to rock and roll next weekend, and or next week, and we can do a dyno session again. Says it's still on the dyno, and we'll see what this thing really is capable of. Now, you know what? I let a little cat out of the bag by telling you what I think it's capable of. So I shouldn't have done that. I should have just told you that, you know what, it's going to get better, but it is what it is. But we're still got, whoever gets the closest guess, we're going to give away a decal next week too. So.
Yep.
Well, now if it doesn't get 500, you know what the fuck you're doing.
Right? Yep. Well, no. We ain't doing 500. No. I said 450, 460. That's at the
said
tire.
500.
That's at the tire. That's damn near 600 horsepower at the flywheel.
I heard 500. I mean, that's,
And if it does that, then and you know what? The reason we call him the rattlesnake, I'll tell you right now,
oh yeah, I do know it.
this guy, whenever he's on his game, he's on his game. He cuts 5001 lights.
It's not 5 anymore.
Okay, whatever it is.
It's 0.
Okay, 0 lights. 001 lights. And he's deadly on the freaking Christmas tree. What he's on, well, you'll get it figured out. So anyhow, if the car's running a number, he's going rounds. I guarantee it. Just like Troy just did. Troy just won this weekend. Did you see that, or last
did not
weekend?
see it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Good job, Troy.
Yep, he did good. So no, my brother, he's killer on the tree. So if the car's running a number, look out. He's gonna beat you. So, all right, guys, peace out. Thank you for coming, and hopefully you're entertained tonight. I don't know. I feel like I talk too damn much.
Right now you are. See you in a week.